Hello everybody, so today we're at the 2024 Classic Car Show at the NEC in Birmingham. I've been exploring what there is in terms of Austin Rover and British Leyland content, and I've got some cracking examples. To bring to the channel, and I'd like you to put in the comments what's your favourite. My name's Chris and welcome to Retro Ratchet. Right, so let's give you guys a wee preview of what I'm going to cover in this video. I've got 11 fantastic BL and Austin Rover cars, and just to pre-warn you, my favourites were the TR7, followed by the Metro and the Princess. So to start with, we've got the very first Rover 214 off the production line. Then we've got 3 of 30 factory-built Triumph TR7s with sprint engines. Next we have an as-new 1983 MG Metro 1300, followed by an immaculate 1979 Austin Maxi HLS. Then a late Rover 800VS in as-new condition. Then we have a 1991 Rover Metro GTI 16 valve, that was the one to have. And then something a wee bit older, a 1978 Austin Princess 2.2 HLS, but this thing has a manual box in it and it's mint. Then moving on to a few more modern ones, we've got a 1987 Rover 216 Vandom EFI, that was a luxury one. 1990 Rover 214S carb model, another 216 Vandom but this time a pre-facelift model, one owner car from new. And then finally a restored Triumph Dolomite Sprint to conclude the lineup. Now if you're enjoying my content, please hit that subscribe button and help the channel hit 10,000 by the end of the year. Now let's dive into those reviews. Right, let's do another wee bit of R8 content here. This one is quite an important car in the history of these. Rover 214 GSI, now this is number 1. So the first car off the production line. So it's a 1.4 16 valve, fuel injected, and we'll take a wee look inside it. Looks like it's been specced with full grey leather interior. How nice is that? And there's those walnut door cappings. We've got electric windows in this one as well. 5-speed manual gearbox, and zooming in there I can see an aircon switch. I don't think I've ever seen an R8 with aircon. So this is a real rare find, this one. British Racing Green. I reckon this one has probably been stored very carefully all of its life on a G-plate. And I much prefer the earlier flat fronts on these rather than the ones that have the grills on them. But yeah, what a rare find. Very first R8. Let's have a wee look around the back. Of course, GSI was the luxury option back then, the single exhaust. I know these bumpers are very, very hard to maintain and keep in that kind of condition. Still has its original GSI wheel trims, and then they were two-tone. These had grey underneath the side strips, just to give them that luxury feel. Yes, I really like that one. It's pretty decent. Right, next on my list of rare car finds at the NEC are these 3. Apparently only 30 of these built. These are TR7s with the Dolomite Sprint engine. And I was curious the fact that it happened to actually be 3 of them at the same show. 3 different colours, take your pick. That yellow one does stand out. So what we'll do is we're going to take a wee bit of a closer look under the bonnet, see what that Sprint engine looks like under there, and then take a wee bit of a look inside them as well. But yeah, I've got a real soft spot for TR7s. Right, let's take a wee walk around this one, get a closer look. I mean, I guess you either love them or hate them, and for me, I think they're proper cool. TR7 there written on the back. I mean, these cars are pretty much mint. Got a wee vinyl roof there. But yeah, it's just such unusual styling. Now looking at them in 2024. And it's a shame that they weren't more popular, because I think they are definitely a fantastic retro car to add to your collection. Especially these ones here, these very rare sprint engined ones. And an S-plate, so what are they, 78, but each of these cars will have a story. Right, so we're going to take a wee look inside this blue one here. And I have to say, this is spectacular, this interior. We've got this red tartan kind of design here. Half leather, and then it's complemented with these red carpets as well. I mean, it does just sum up a retro car, doesn't it? Let's have a wee closer look at the instrument panel. Yeah, you've got your rev counter there, you've got Reed Smith's clock up in the top left. voltmeter and engine temperature. And then looking at your centre console there, hazard fog, fog lights, rear demister and lights. Just really, really nice 70s design features in here. Obviously only a two-seater as well. And you do sit quite low when you actually look at these things, but these cars are in fantastic condition. I mean, even look at those door cards. Check out that door speaker there. It does have a little emblem of a speaker on it. That's the kind of stuff I really, really like to see on cars like this. Just little fine detail. Now let's take a wee look under the bonnet. So there we have it, that Triumph Slant 4. Shoehorned in there. Now, it doesn't seem to be a massive amount of space under here, but this thing is in fantastic condition. Roughly 130 brake horsepower, twin carbs, and I would imagine that probably goes pretty well in such a light shell. Certainly a very revvy nature, these engines, I believe, and definitely something I'd be very interested in driving. And there's a wee bit of a blurb about the car. We'll zoom out a wee bit, have a look at this blue one, but yeah, amazing condition. Now, I can't not cover this Metro. It is stunning. It's a Mark 1. Mark 1 Metro does hold a certain sentimental value for me because that was my first car. Unfortunately, it wasn't an MG I owned. Yeah, it's lovely on a Y plate, 1983, MG 1300. And I tell you what, this really does bring back memories. I did put this interior in my brown HLS, which I did have resprayed black. So yeah, I do have happy memories of this interior. It was back in the days when you could just strip out everything in a car in a scrapyard, the steering wheel, the carpet, the red stitched gear lever gaiter, the gear knob, everything. I think I even took the dashboard out of one. The dashboards are quite different to the base spec models. So this is beautiful, this one, 73,000 miles. Obviously had a restoration. It's in fantastic condition. Original pepper pot alloy wheels. You've got that wee spoiler there, round the back window. But yeah, I would love to do a review on one of these one day. So if you have a Mark 1, please reach out and we'll get it on the channel. In fact, it's about one of the only cars I've not been offered to review on the channel. But yeah, it's so nice to see a restored one of these. Now that's interesting, it does have headlamp washer jets. I don't think I've ever seen a Metro with that as an option, so put in the comments if you have any information about that, or you've owned a Metro with that setup. I'm guessing it must be aftermarket, but they do fit perfectly well onto that bumper there. I do remember that the MGs as well, they had the red stripes on that grille just to set them apart from the standard grills. Those lovely graphics along the side of the car as well. Yeah, what a find. Austrian Rover Supercare. Yeah, you would have needed that with the Metro back in the day. I could just see some red seat belts through there as well. But yeah, what a car. This has to be, I think, one of my favourites at the show. Now, this wee Austin Maxi has caught my eye. It's a 1750 HLS. So HLS was a top spec trim back in the day, so it's on a V. I think that's 1979. This thing is in great condition. I mean, it looks as new the day it stepped out the factory. In fact, it was probably better than the day it stepped out the factory. And this colour really, really suits it. But yeah, can't see any rust on this thing, so it's obviously had a very, very detailed restoration. Lots of nice chrome work there. And the same down the driver's side. Absolutely immaculate condition car. A wee 3-spoke sports steering wheel on it there. Black velour trim. And surprisingly, no headrests even on the HLS model. Let's have a wee look there. How many Maxis left in the UK? I would imagine there is not a lot, unfortunately. But yeah, what a lovely example that one is. So what do you think? Drop something in the comments. Thumbs up or thumbs down for the Maxi. And here we have a lovely Rover A20VS. Let's have a look at this one. 1996 turbo. So this would be a T-Series. And I tell you what, it really suits this colour. And this one is in superb condition. Original Rover factory alloys. It does sit quite low, this one. I think it's probably lowered. And inside, yeah, you've got the Recaro seats. Half leather. They were great, I always liked them. Looking round the back here. Yeah, Vitesse. Twin tailpipes there. Now, I have recently done a review on a Rover 800. I've not yet aired it, so watch this space for that to come out. Let's have another wee look around this side. Yeah, you can't really see inside very well, but you can see the Recaro written on the seats there. They are a lovely place to be fair. Getting a very rare sight in the roads these days. What do we think of the Rover 800s? A thumbs up or a thumbs down? Let's take a closer look at the blurb on this one. Now let's do a wee quick walk around on this one, that Rover Metro GTI. So I've never ever driven one of these, but I've always been very curious what they're actually like. So 1.4 16 valve K series. I think you did get single point and multi-point fuel injection on them, but they do really look the part. Spoilers there around the back window. Little red inserts there on the bumpers. Exhaust doesn't look particularly sporty, which is unfortunate. You've got those cross-spoke lattice wheels there. British Racing Green, not my favourite colour, but does suit it on the Metro. Red seat belts all round. Sporty looking steering wheel without an airbag. What's interesting, this one, I do notice an air conditioning button there under the rear wiper switch, so that is unusual. Never seen that before. Lightning style fabric there on those front sports seats, but yeah, neat looking little car. I think the multi-point injection ones were about 104 horsepower, so that would probably be quite respectable in a little Metro. Got a wee discreet spoiler down there under the front bumper. And of course those K-Series did love to rev, so it would make a fun little car. So drop something in the comments. Have you had a good experience with a Rover Metro GTI? And here we have another of my favourite British Leyland cars, Austin Princess. This one's a 1978 2200 HLS. Again, this was top of the range model on a T-plate. I think if you're going to buy one of these BL cars from the late 70s, it has to be an unusual colour like that. And I tell you what, this is another car in spectacular condition. It's great to see. Manual transmission, plush velvet upholstery. Yeah, this would be something I would love to own. Even by today's standards, it is quite a big car. Sits at a nice ride height, this one. It's original wheels, a single exhaust pipe down there. But yeah, these were a straight six. Can't remember if they were twin carb or single carb. Have to do a bit of research. My guess is probably twin carb. But yeah, definitely the one to have, a manual transmission one of these. And there's a little blurb about the car. It's definitely one of my all-time favourites of BL's creation of the 70s. Don't put in the comments what you think of Princesses, unless it's positive. And here we have the second 216 Vandom Pla I've seen at the show. So this one's an E-plate, so this is a facelifted car. So looking at the front there, a few little Vandom Pla add-ons, the washer jets, a little chrome strip. This one does look like it's got its original wheel trims on it. And it was mostly the interior that differed on these facelift ones, which you can't see very well. But this is an automatic transmission car, full grey leather interior. And certainly in my opinion, I prefer these facelifted ones to the earlier ones. They're just that little bit more refined looking inside. But yeah, again, lovely condition car, this one. Barrett's of Canterbury, maybe that was the original supply and dealer. So EFI, so it's going to be a 1.6 S-Series, fuel injected, so it's probably going to go pretty well, I would imagine. But yeah, great to see one of these at the show and get a little peek there through the window. If only it was manual. And there's a wee blurb about the car itself. There's some more information around here. I'm assuming that's what price it was new, £12,056. So, drop something in the comments. Do we prefer the pre-facelift or the later ones such as this? Now here's a wee Rover R8 that's caught my eye. Now, on face value it might not look that interesting. It's a poverty spec 214S, but interestingly it's a carb model, so no fuel injection on this one. 1.4 K series, I think the output about 75 brake horsepower, and it was an 8 valve. And it's also a 3-door model, which makes this one quite rare, but it's in such good condition. And I'd never actually seen one of these with a carb before, so it's really, really nice. But yeah, they're well spec'd down these. We don't have any wood trim on the inside. The original wheel trims there. And a H-plate, it is quite an early one. So what we'll do is we'll take a wee look under the bonnet with that unusual combination. Right, so the owner's very kindly opened the bonnet so we can have a look at this K series with a carb. So hiding under there, we do have an SU carb, so it's quite unusual to see an R8 with that setup. So there cannot be many of these left on the road, but it's in fantastic condition, certainly for an R8. Can't even see any signs of corrosion under here, so it's definitely a survivor. Also, I believe that this is running a manual choke. Again, another interesting feature. Certainly my old Montego, it's a 1984-85, that's running auto choke, so I wonder why they chose to have them manually controlled on these. But yeah, so that'll be a rare sight under there for any R8 K series fans. Right, so let's take a wee look inside. So yeah, poverty spec, we don't get electric windows, so windy windows. We don't get any walnut trim there on the dashboard. We do have a rev counter, however, and we also have a 5-speed gearbox. And that's great, it has its original Philips radio cassette player. That's something that I've been looking for my Maestro Turbo for quite some time, but it is in pretty decent condition. And yeah, that was when Rover brought out these heavily bolstered seats just across the model range there, so yeah, so interesting. Windy windows in one of these. And no airbag. It was before the days of airbags in R8s. I think they came out about 1992, 93, and it's showing 73,000 miles on the clock. But it does have a sunroof, obviously being manual as well. Yeah, it's very nice. Great condition car. So put in the comments if you have owned a carb-powered R8. Right, we have to feature this one. This is a mint Rover 216 Vandom Plat EFI. Now this thing is stunning. According to the blog, it's a one-owner car, and I can truly believe it. You've got those Vandom Plat extras there. You've got headlamp washer jets, little chrome strip there along the bottom of the bonnet. But yeah, I love these. Cross-spoke alloy wheels. But the condition is unreal. There just isn't a spot of rust on this thing. And inside, full grey leather upholstery. And being a Series 1, you can maybe just make out there the electric window switch pack is on the driver's door there. On these it did look like it was just stuck on. It was a little bit unusual. The centre console is a little bit different in these to the later ones. But yeah, very, very luxurious inside. Walnut and leather. And there the VP badge in there on the rear quarter, and a wee pinstripe running right the way along. But what a beautiful car. These were car number 3 for me back in my car history, so yeah, I do have a soft spot for them. We'll try and get a wee look round the back of this one. And there is a view from the back. It's got a tow bar on it, so I think it very much is a used car, which is no bad thing. Now, Triumph Dolomite Sprint. These are an all-time favourite of mine, and one I would love to add to my collection at some point in the future. And this one has obviously had thousands spent on it. Loads of pictures of the restoration there, and then looking down the side, it is in mint condition. And these are fetching fantastic money now, and quite rightly so. Vinyl roof on this one. But yeah, there's just something about these. Maybe it's that British car unreliability and rust factor that attracts me. But yeah, joking aside, I absolutely love these. I've never ever driven one, so if you do happen to own a Sprint and would like a proper review done on the channel, then please reach out in the comments section. But yeah, what a lovely piece of British motoring history these are. 2 litre 16 valve, twin carb, shoehorned in there. Isn't a massive amount of space. Engine sits over at an angle. And I think if you did get one of these, it would have to be in one of these colours like this. It does stand out. In fact, the window is open, so we will take a wee look inside. Loads of wood there on the dash. Overdrive gearbox there. Yeah, it's in fantastic condition, so probably one of the best ones out there, I would imagine. What do we think of the Dolomite Sprints? There's some pictures of the restoration there. Looks like it's been a very, very detailed job. Certainly a labour of love. So put in the comments what you think of the Sprint.